Hey guys, it's Rob. 226 days until I turn 30, and this one's going to be another kind of quick one, just because it's nearly 3 in the morning on Saturday instead of a reasonable hour on Thursday. I'll explain why that is in a minute. Um, Bounce back up about half a pound. It is getting harder and harder to talk myself into going outside and exercising as the weather gets colder, particularly because I was exercising later at night when I felt the urge earlier, and now it's about 40 degrees late at night. So that's not going to fly. I'm going to have to go in the afternoons, and then when it gets colder than that, I may need to find ways to bundle up or just exercise indoors. So that's going to be a continuing challenge for me to figure out. And I submitted a cover art request. More on that in a moment. And I also got all of my beta reading back on the short story, which is super cool because that means I can get back to work on giving that a little polish. I'm recording in the wee hours of Saturday morning because on Thursday night I realized that I had let fear get the better of me and hadn't gotten that art order done to submit to the cover art guy. And I was too bummed to put it on camera. So I held out this long, and finally, and of course, when I finally did get down to it, get it done, get it emailed out today, it wasn't nearly as big of a deal as I had made it to be in my head. But because I had never done it before, I had made it this huge, challenging, insurmountable thing. I had let the fear change what it really was, which was a relatively small project that just required, some amount of detailed work to kind of hunt down what descriptions I'd put in the book as far as character descriptions, so that I could make that all accurate and kind of pose a scene in written word. But I made it this huge thing, and that kept me from getting stuff done. I know that there's another project right in front of me right now that's making me feel the same way, which is establishing contact and starting to go through the customer service section of CreateSpace, Amazon's self-publishing print-on-demand wing, and really getting the layout stuff done. That's a thing that I feel similarly fearful about. And that's, this isn't so woe is me, feel sorry for me. This is, of course, it's time for Rob to buck up. It's time to just step forward, say to these people, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's start a rapport. Let's start communicating, and then that's how you get to number one, know what's going on, and number two, feel more confident. Because you start getting information. It stops being this unknown thing. But this is the kind of fear that I've let govern my life a lot in the past, and it's not a thing. It's not a thing that I've conquered yet. And who knows? It may always be with me. It may be just something that I end up having to manage. But that's what's in front of me. So I need to talk myself up to making that contact, moving things forward while the cover art is going, so that we don't end up in a situation like we did here, where I was sitting here and I should have commissioned the cover art a long time ago while I was doing other things, because the cover art is something in another person's hands, not my own. But instead, I let it sit and work on other things, and told myself that I was busy, and that there was this huge thing that I would have to do to get the cover art request ready. So I didn't touch it when it could have been going on in the middle of something else. So yeah, that continues to be that. Got the beta reading back on the short story, like I said, which is good. Looking forward to polishing that and eventually getting some cover art going for that as well, which is going to be stylistically very different cover art than what's needed for the novel. So we'll probably have to choose a different artist. Other than that, on the day of the week, which was Tuesday, on Tuesday, on my Twitch TV stream for Pokemon Y, we had like the perfect storm. We had nearly 400 people come in there, which is about quadruple my previous peak concurrent viewers. I think about 100 and something, 130 or so new ones followed. And then I got a bunch of new follows as well by playing an extra stream on Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon rather. So Pokemon Y, the new Pokemon game, is really bringing in lots of views on Twitch, and is going to be what I'm streaming for the future currently. I will eventually go back to The Sims 3 and pick up where we left off there, but for the time being, these results are something I cannot ignore and go back to my regular streaming. There's part of streaming live video gaming stuff involving seizing the moment, and for the most part, unless you're doing very specific things like speedrunning games or something, general game coverage tends to have a kind of a shorter lifespan. These things are, in many cases, consumed and discarded or sold back to a retailer or so on and so forth. And then the interest level just goes, so you've got to seize on it when you can. So I'm going to keep seizing on that. And Pokemon seems to continue bringing in viewers, so we're gonna do that in about 7 hours from now. So I should get sleep. Thanks as always for watching. Do take care. I'll expect to update with a regular episode on Monday. So have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you then.